Yo, what is cracking, my people? What is up? What is up? Welcome to yet another episode of ADQ's Renaissance. Get this mic in closer. Come on, Mike. Work with me. There you go. Welcome to yet another episode of ADQ's Renaissance. I'm your host with the most, keeping it 100 from coast to coast through God of Host, ADQ. It is Tuesday, October 26th, 2021. It is Tuesday, October 26th, 2021. I don't normally do Tuesdays, but today is special. Today we are talking with a wordsmith. Today is going to be on, you know what I'm saying? But before we get started, I just wanted to real quick shout out a couple of, movers and shakers out there. First of all, yo, make sure to get your water, alkaline water. I call this my Jesus water because when I drink this, I feel spirited. So, yo, live alkaline water. Here's the brothers with the Soul Society with that. Also, let's see, what else? I got so many black-owned businesses. I got so many black-owned products, including this. I only brush my teeth with charcoal toothpaste. This is what I brush my teeth with. You see my teeth? Okay, so it's a little stain because it's been a long day. But when I start my day, when I end my day, I am brushing with this. Here's the sister, the queen, Morgan Renee Myers, for your own tube. Fluoride free. Fluoride free is the way to go because you use fluoride toothpaste. It does crazy things to your pineal gland. Also, young lady that I know, Miss Imani Zakaria Neal, wrote this fantastic, incredible book of poetry. Yo, she's on my if you are watching this via Facebook, check her out, Imani Neal. She type her up, Imani Neal, very, very talented young sister. Very, very talented young sister. She's going places. And speaking of books of poetry, boom, here's another one that we're actually going to be covering tonight. Written by a young lady out of Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas, home of Scarface. Give me a second, yo. All these literary giants are getting me parched. Like I said, this young lady is from Houston, Texas, home of Scarface, home of the Screwed Up Clique, home of Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Yeah, y'all know that. Y'all youngsters don't know nothing about that. Home of Slim Thug, home of UGK. Let's talk about this young lady. This young lady is the author of 2 published lyrical novels, portrays the art of becoming the genesis of transformation through her poems. She's internationally known on the microphone, y'all. Respected as a linguistics, technical communication expert, and writing coach. Whether providing one-on-one career advancement advice, hosting webinars, facilitating e-learning courses, implementing marketing / design concepts for mentoring young ladies, she utilizes her 15 plus years of experience and remarkable credentials innovatively to help others. She also serves as the head consultant of web and info design for Articulate Business Group, ABG. She holds 2 degrees. Your boy here is trying to get 1. She holds 2 degrees. Her first degree is in journalism, and her second from the University of North Texas is in linguistics / technical communication. Speaking of people out there who are getting degrees, I know it's homecoming season. I know it's G-Ho. I live like 2 blocks away from A&T. Y'all out there doing your G-Ho stuff, y'all better not get loud or else you will see my angry old man side. Side note. Now, one of this young lady's favorite quotes comes from Ernest Hemingway. The writer must write what he has to say, not to speak it. Ooh. In other words, leave your words on the paper. Don't say it. The statement is what led her to start Articulate Business Group, She believes articulate writing is the foundation for articulate speaking, followed by being what you speak about, becoming a beautiful, articulate person, which happens to be the name of her previous book. Her books are created for anyone who has ever felt unbeautiful. Yeah, I had that moment when I was younger. Unworthy of love. She has a personal quote. May my words be uplifting and remind you you're your own beauty, and that's articulately beautiful. And she expresses articulate beauty in this particular piece, and we're about to talk about it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to ADQ's Renaissance, Miss Amber Branch. Yo, Amber, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
I am doing wonderful. I am living the dream. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Doing good. I just have just one slight correction. I'm actually from Dallas, Texas, but I did used to live in Houston, so I rep H Town, but I didn't want I didn't want people to get upset. So I rep them both. I just rep the whole state of Texas.
No, 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 no. You are not going to rep Dallas. You're not gonna read Dallas.
No.
Have my word. No, 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 no. You're not gonna read Dallas. Have my words in navy blue and have me wearing navy blue and have your book in navy blue. You know why? Because there's people in Dallas that wear navy blue and they are the most and they cheer for the most overrated, the most disgusting, most mediocre football team known to all of football, known to sports. So bad that I'm not even gonna mention their name on my podcast.
I can't disagree with you on that. I'm not really a Dallas Cowboys fan, but my brother is, so I won't say anything bad about them.
Or some of this alkaline water and throw it on your brother. Maybe it'll bring him to his senses. So I gotta ask you, you are very much a very intellectual, articulate, accomplished young lady. I want to know, where did your journey in writing and using expressive words to put together a certain narrative, where did it all begin for you?
I think just in general, I've always liked poetry, even from the time I was like little and just hearing, if you go all the way back to when I was younger, hearing Dr. Seuss. I used to love all his poems. And then Shel Silverstein is a Black poet. He wrote Where the Sidewalk Ends. That was one of my favorite poems growing up. And he has some other ones. Can't think of them right now, but that was one of my favorite books. And then reading Maya Angelou growing up, I just, from the time I could probably read, maybe starting off in kindergarten, I've just liked the rhythm of words and how you can put words together to make that rhyme, and just really words in general. I think that's how I ended up majoring in linguistics, just the study of language and understanding words. So that's kind of where it all started.
Come on, come on, Shel Silverstein. Come on, Dr. Seuss. You know, every time. See, I'm a teacher for a living. That's what I do. And whenever I get a Dr. Seuss book in my hand, magic happens. Like, I spend all day teaching the kids, to be, articulate, to use the words and all of that. But you put a Dr. Seuss book in my hand, I find myself rapping, especially when I read Hop on Pop.
Yes.
And the kids just love it and whatnot. It takes you places. Shel Silverstein, oh my goodness, you just taught me something, because I honestly thought that Shel Silverstein, this nobody judge me, but I honestly thought that was one of Seuss's many monikers. So please, how deep is your knowledge about this Shel Silverstein?
I mean, I would literally, when I was in middle school, I would go to the library and ask specifically for um, Shel Silverstein. So I don't know any by heart, but like that one book, Where the Sidewalk Ends, I love that book, and my mom bought it for my daughters a while ago. They haven't really gravitated to it yet, but I'm still trying to pull that out of them.
I'm sure they will. So you mentioned Maya Angelou, Shel Silverstein, my bad. Who would you say are some other writers who have, inspired you to put a pen in your hand and start putting these magnificent words together that I'm going to share with the viewing public?
I think my biggest influence, like I mentioned, was Maya Angelou. Like I literally love her. I wish I would have gotten a chance to meet her. But that's really where I started realizing that words have power and you can tell your story. And I went through a similar situation that she went through with sexual abuse and molestation and being raped and all the things that she talks about in I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. I went through that and right in the middle of my tumultuous teenage years. So when I was reading that book as a teenager, I felt connected to her. And that's probably what allowed me to realize that I can tell my story and I can help somebody because she helped me. So that I would say that's probably my number one. I mean, I do like Terry McMillan. I
Come
like
on,
some,
Stella, get the groove back.
I know, right? Waiting to exhale. Sometimes we have to just do that, right? Just let it out. So,
Yeah,
that's
date somebody who's like 30 years younger than you are. Why not?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said, yeah, go ahead. Date somebody who's 30 years younger than you. Set somebody's car on fire. Why not?
I know, right?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, but those are pretty much growing up. Of course, if you go back and also Langston Hughes, that was really influential. I had to write a report, I think back in middle school on James Baldwin and Langston Hughes and the whole Harlem Renaissance era. So that influenced me a great deal as well.
Okay, so number one, so a couple things today. Number one, me and Maya Angelou actually lived in the same city at the same time when she died.
Oh wow.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I never met her, unfortunately, but like I said, we both lived in the Trey Folk, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, when she died. Also, the Harlem Renaissance is the reason why this particular platform that you are gracing at this moment is called ADQ's Renaissance. Because,
Yes.
I was looking to mirror the Harlem Renaissance in podcast form and find out why dope writers like yourself write your dopeness. When you want to talk about Langston Hughes, hold fast to dreams. For when a dream dies, it is like life is like a broken winged eagle that can't fly.
Dream deferred.
Dream deferred. Um, 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 and I love how Lorraine Hansberry took the line from "What happens to the dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun?" Took that and created a whole nother story from there. See, that's what
Yes.
writing's supposed to do, right?
Exactly. Yes. It's a platform, just much like your podcasting, to kind of tell your story. And so that's what I just realized that it was time to do that. I have been writing, but it never dawned on me that maybe I should publish it until maybe around 2017. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to start pulling my stuff together. And at first I wasn't sure about poetry, but poetry just kind of seemed like it came more natural to me. So I um, just allowed, I started writing, and however it came out, that's how, I just divine intervention, I guess you could say, it came out in lyrical form. And part of that maybe because my dad is a musician. My parents kind of are very much into the gospel music kind of background. So music has always been part of me. So poetry to me is nothing but just it is music. It's lyrics. So
It's lyrics. It's lyrics. It's storytelling. The music is the words. The music is the letters. I'll say that the music is the letters. Um, when I picture poetry, I picture either surreal scenery type music playing in the background or jazz, pretty much, just setting things up, much like you do in your book. Um, now, first of all, I want to say for those of you all who are tuning in, please go to my YouTube page, ADQ. Adrian Dion Quarles. Subscribe. I'm trying to monetize off of y'all. The Lyrical Journal of Sapphire Rhymes, Teardrop Stained Confessions. Mind if I read a piece from here?
by all means, I would be honored.
Okay, now this particular piece may not be suited for all ages. Be advised. The kids shouldn't be up anyway. I'm a teacher. The kids should not be up anyway. They got to be up at 6:30 in the morning. You better put them daggone babies to sleep. Now, we about to be grown up in here. Sweet tooth. To my sugar free Valentine. Okay. I assume this is to your husband?
All of my poems were to somebody at some point in time. So it's a collection. Could be. One can never
All right,
tell.
so check this out. Brown like the color of soda and better for me like Coke Zero Coca-Cola. You better go ahead, calorie free. The way you rocked my world last night, so scrump delumptious.
Scrumptious. You know, like Willy Wonka.
Can I have just one more bite? Okay, that's what's up. Willy Wonka never tasted this good. Thinking to myself, maybe I shouldn't, but then again, maybe I could. You taste as sweet as candy and got me feeling oh so randy. I can't help myself, and maybe I'm being too forward, but that thing you do gives me something to look toward. Like a kid in the candy store. May I have some now and later? So now and later, till next time, sweet dreams and chocolate kisses to my sweet candy Valentine. Imagine getting that on the Valentine's Day card. It'll be Valentine's Day and someone's birthday in the same day.
Okay, exactly.
So I'm just going to, just put on my journalist hat and ask you exactly what inspired that particular piece.
It was probably, I believe it was a Valentine's Day. Very fireworks type environment, some steamy moments. I mean, not all my poetry is sad and just kind of mundane. There are some moments where, I was in love, and that's why I have that disclaimer there. But that particular one was just all about being in love and, like, yeah, seizing the moment with your lover.
It gave me a quick flash of all the women who I've, all the sweet tea that I've had. So, might have to come up with something along those lines myself. Let's see, Destiny's Fate. Okay, let's get. First of all, do you have any disclaimers for Destiny's Fate?
I mean, that one, it's pretty much just self-explanatory. It's just about, a girl and how, and just, it probably is largely based on real life. So I'll let you go ahead and read it. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay. Obviously, I'm not a young girl, so I'm reading this from a third perspective. Let's see. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl with a smile so bright and a spirit so kind. You do have a very bright smile. She didn't realize this was a fatal trait and never would imagine what was Destiny's fate. So many men she trusted, but in their hearts they only lusted. Lusted for her heart, mind, and fragile inside. Each man stole a piece of her soul over time. Her inner being slowly died, haunted by the demons of her past, locked, chained, and stained, until true love came to set her free at last. Sheesh, I'm glad you had that, man. I'm starting to feel good.
It was getting a little too heavy for you.
No, not too heavy for me. Just put me in an apologetic space that I go into whenever I learn about women who have been taken advantage in one way or another by men. So if you don't mind sharing, um, what's pretty much the story behind that? Sounds like you have been taking advantage of quite a bit leading up into your marriage.
That's pretty much, and I think a lot of women are go through that too. Just being a little bit too nice and not finding your voice and not knowing that it's okay to speak and let people know what it is you want and not have to. I had a friend once tell me that it was actually a male friend of mine, a very good male friend of mine. He told me, he said, you know what, you go along to get along way too much. At the time, I just kind of brushed him off a little bit, and I didn't think about it until much later in life. And I was like, he's so right, because I had that persona, just okay, I don't really want to impede, I don't want confrontation, so I'm just gonna walk on eggshells, just kind of smile and sit pretty and hey, but over time, by doing that, you people take advantage of that, until you learn to kind of speak up and speak your mind. And you have to learn how to use it with tact. So that's one of my favorite words, tact, because you can speak your mind, but you need to be tactful about it too. And so you don't have to be passive, you don't have to be a doormat, but you do need to know how to be articulate and let your feelings known. And because I wasn't that girl at a large portion of my life, it just allowed certain people to come in and take advantage of me. And so I learned from it though. So I don't necessarily want to say that, you know, I just learned from it. It's all lessons learned. So, but that's what that's about.
Man, I want to hug you right now. Sheesh, you are so mean. Um, it's been my observance that not all women want to be married and want to be loved. This doesn't apply to all women, but a lot of women grow with a cultural understanding that they have to be taken care of by a man. Therefore, they have to do what you just said, go along to get along. Therefore, in that going along to get along, um, they have to put up with y'all have to put up with a whole lot of mess from some very broken and disrespectful and selfish men. Would you agree with that?
I mean, I definitely agree with that, but I don't want to generalize and say that all men are like that, because I think that
Of course
there's,
not. I'm not like that.
yeah, of course, and there's some largely, I mean, of course, we have broken women too. So it kind of, but I think the main thing that I've learned just from relationships and even through this journey of me writing my poetry is that and that's why I'm so big on being articulate and speaking, because the number one key to any relationship, whether it's a friendship or being an intimate relationship, you got to communicate. You got to talk to each other, because if you don't, then things fester. Then you end up lashing out at each other, and you might wind up on Snap or something. I don't know, but I mean, the main thing is just being being articulate and just learning how to communicate. And yeah, so I think that that's the key there. But um, yeah, I would totally agree with that.
Yeah, you got to articulate and you got to come to the table knowing exactly what your expectations and what you will deal with and what you will not deal with. That has to be spoken and emphasized from the jump, or else someone will take too many steps to the left, too many steps to the left, saying, okay, I can get away with this, I can get away with this, I can get away with this. But like you say, it has to be articulated, or else, that could just start a rabbit hole effect of a whole lot of dangerous acts.
Exactly. So yeah, that's just one of the things, one of the many lessons that I've learned in life. So just wanted to share everything. Like I said, I think I said that in the beginning of the book. I want to share everything. I'm an open book. The good, the bad, the sad, the raunchy, even some more intimate moments. But that's part of everything I've gone through and learning and to help someone else.
Do you believe? I gotta ask you this. Excuse me. There are, how do I put this? You are a woman of faith, right?
Yes. I was raised in the church. My dad is a minister, pastor, actually, so I'm a PK.
Okay. Shout out to all PK. Shout out to all PKs. Um, I'm a Christian myself, though I would say that I'm more spiritual than anything. But I know that it say in the Bible in 2 Corinthians. Yeah, I just said 2 Corinthians.
Okay,
And,
sure.
hey, 2 Corinthians, walk into a bar. Um, but it says in the Bible in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, I believe it's chapter 5, verse 17. It speaks against contextually speaking, it speaks heavily against premarital sex, right? Would you right? So a lot of Christians take that and they're like, okay, so no sex until marriage. None until marriage. That was my initial intent when I was embarking upon this thing called adulthood. But when I hit 23 and I saw a naked coworker, woman who wanted me bad, I failed miserably. So, um, so I would ask, let's be real. Let's be real here. Do you think that sex is something that should be on the table during before marriage, or should be reserved for marriage period?
I of course, if we're going to speak biblically and what the Bible says, then yes, you're supposed to wait. But I mean, let's be realistic. We all are human, and the flesh, I think in the Bible does say the flesh is weak. And so, we all fall prey to temptations. But I think that the reason why the Bible and the reason why God is specifically saying wait till marriage is because sex does complicate things. It complicates relationships. It complicates just the whole communication aspect of relationships. And so until you're ready to commit yourself to that one person, it probably is. And I look back and if just looking back over my own life, if I would rather have waited and just saved myself for my husband. Now, of course, in my situation, it was kind of taken from me. But in that situation, I didn't realize at the time that doesn't make you. So the time I thought that made me kind of broken a little bit and that I was used up. But special note to any girls out there that have been in those situations, rape doesn't mean that you're not, that you're tainted. I don't think that God looks at that, but I'm kind of digressing. But back to the point, I think marriage should be safe for marriage. I mean, sexual relations should be safe for marriage, but it's difficult. So I don't think, and there's so many other. I have this in my book about the chapter that's called Tears and Sins, and it starts off with the scripture that says, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." So a lot of times, church people will be, "Oh goodness, she did this and she did that," and you have to kind of take a step back and be like, "Whoa, sis," but you did. We all have to take a self-evaluation of our own flaws and what we've gone through, and let God be the one. I think Tupac said that best. Only God can judge. So I think that's where we get a little bit, because we try to get on our high horse, and especially a lot of people in the church try to be so high and mighty and forget what they've gone through, and then kind of want to judge, and then I think it tends to push people away from the church. So I don't ever want to be, and I pray that I'm never at that point where get to be so high on my, because obviously I've shared some of my tears and sins in the book. So that lets people know right there that we all go through things. We all do things that we're not proud of. It's not who you were or are, it's who you're becoming that matters. So I kind of went off on a little tangent. I hope I answered your question. Did I?
You very much did. You did, because there's so much that coming with that answer. Am I going to go the Jesus route and abstain, or am I going to realize, yo, I am flesh and bone, and there is a little piece of flesh and bone in my pants that wishes to connect with more flesh, right?
Yeah, that's reality, and that's not to be prude. I'm not the type to be prude. So you got to tell it like it is. Sometimes I certainly told it like it is in my book. So
Oh,
that
you
those.
sure did.
I mean, yeah, because it is. I'm so tired of being. I did say this at the beginning of the book in my introduction. No more secrets. No more lies. No more skeletons lurking in dark closets. This is my story, told my way. Tell someone else. Just understand they're not alone. I think it's in the introduction. So,
well, like you said in the special acknowledgments, Exodus 15:2, the joy of the Lord is your strength, our strength, all of our strength. And your song, our song, why am I saying our, everybody?
yeah.
Let me just say what the scripture says. The joy of the Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. He is my God, and I will praise him. Exodus chapter 15, verse 2. So, and so, yo, I got to read this definition of what is sapphire. You want to before I do, you want to know something really dope? Sapphire is actually my birthstone color. My
That's
birthday
mine.
is September.
Yes, that's what inspired it. That's my birthstone, and I love that color. I love that gemstone.
That's my favorite color. I mean, boom. I wear this shirt like 4 days a week. When's your birthday?
September 19th.
September 1st.
Wow. Yeah, Virgo.
Virgo, we rule the world.
Of course. Yes, Virgos.
Yeah, 85 right here. But so here's your description, well, definition of my beautiful birthstone color and my favorite color. But every time I see one of them ugly Dallas Cowboys jerseys, it makes
just makes you cringe.
make me throw up in my mouth. Sapphire, a clear, deep blue variety of extremely hard aluminum oxide, corundum, is valued as a precious stone. It is a colored gem made of white, yellow, and purple. Sapphire is typically blue in color. The birthstone for the month of September. Rhyme, the correspondence of sound between words or the endings of words, especially when these are used at the ends of lines of poetry. I share this sentiment with our illustrious author here. I feel blessed that I was born in the month of September. So great, so blessed that Earth, Wind, Fire made a song about
September.
Do
Yes.
you remember? So it's so much of a great song that Temptations had to mention September in they're really sad song. Probably was a Rolling Stone.
Oh yeah, I remember that song. It was the
3rd of September.
Yeah, I remember that song.
Probably was a Rolling Stone during Virgo season. So I feel blessed that I was born in the month of September. I am forever connected to the beauty of the sapphire birthstone. His beauty inspires me. A. Branch and also A. Quarles.
Yes, I love that. I love the sapphire. It's just so beautiful. So
It is. It is. So let's see. Oh dang. A couple other poems that I want to read. Ooh. First, my ideal match. Searching for love. My ideal match. Part 1. This is nice. I'm gonna have to write a poem like this. I'll tell you my ideal match. Okay, this is your ideal match. Then I'm gonna couple that. Then I'm gonna put my ideal. Then I'm gonna go ahead and say on air my ideal match. So,
okay.
job criteria: tall, dark, and handsome. Hard body like steel. Not a scrubs. Not a bum. Man, you put your expectations up there, don't you? Job description: very caring, charming, romantic, and a little daring. Not a heartbreaker, but a good listener and a good kisser. Supports my goals, my number one fan. Proud to be your man. Challenges my mind, stimulates my body physically, mentally, and spiritually. An intellectual jock with a nice hard. Okay, I'm not saying that word, but let's just say it rhymes with jock. Looking for a knight in shining armor, someone who treats you right. Okay, let me put my ideal match right out there. I'll call this Searching for My Ideal Match. ADQ Remix.
Okay.
Job title, let's see. The shorter the better. I would say, let's see, I would say 5 foot, I would say 5'5" and under. You know, I like them thick, I like them thick, I like them thick. I will also say not I would say not a pigeon. You remember no pigeons?
I remember that.
Not a pigeon, but I will allow a hood rat. You know, I've had I had fling with Virgo hood rat before, and yo, she took me places. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, yo, yo, never brothers out there.
It's that Virgo.
Well, I normally run from female Virgos, but my most recent two encounters with female Virgos, you know, Hood Rat and you know, the woman I'm talking to right now, have been very favorable. So, yo, shout out to female Virgos right now. Let's see. Very caring, romantic. I like daring. Is she a heartbreaker? That's all right. That'll give me a reason to cheat on her. Good listener. Yo, she gotta be a great kisser. Gotta be a great kisser. If she ain't a great kisser, I'm gonna be like, yo, get out of my face. Go somewhere. Supports my goals. My number one fan. Proudly had me as her man. Challenges my mind. Stimulates my body physically, mentally, and spiritually. Heck yeah. And she gotta be intellectual too, cause I'm sapiosexual. Looking for a queen who rocks that red, black, and green, and who will walk with me on the theatrical scene. Boom. Ball.
Okay. Drops mic. I see. Snap, snap.
But so I assume that you found all that you desired in this particular piece in your husband, right?
I mean, I do. I would say so. You know,
I would hope so.
I think when I wrote that ideal, that's the ideal man. But there is no such thing as a perfect man. So you know, everybody has their flaws. So I would say when I wrote that he definitely did. I had to check. I did do the checklist on him.
So I would have to respectfully disagree. There is a such a thing as a perfect man. Me.
Okay. Well, you know, you got to think that way about yourself. That's part of that self-love. I think I talk about that a little bit in my book too. So, or maybe that's in my other book. One of them, I talk about self-love. being
Love is
true love.
very important. Now, first, before I go on, I want to say, shout out to Chris Scott. Chris Scott, who once acted in a play that I directed, he commented saying it's okay for Panthers fans to be jealous of the Cowboys. It's perfectly okay. It's understandable. Chris, go find somebody to knock the red out of your hair. Okay, you're a great guy, but your Cowboys suck. Shout out to Miss Latoya S. Miles. Shout out to that queen right there. Shout out to her. But yeah, you have to know what you want and you have to be willing to compromise. I'm no love doctor, but even I know that because if you like sell for anybody who just comes along smiling and whatnot, well, that's where you may go into a part of the relationship that's not very desirable, right?
Mhm. Yeah, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about a little earlier. I mean, you got to be honest with each other. You got to be able to communicate, and um, so that you're like you said, if you go in there with the self love before, and you already love yourself, then it's gonna make it that much easier for you to, I guess, have that love reciprocated. So, you know.
Yeah, that's why it didn't work out with me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's why it didn't work out between me and the hood rat because I knew no matter how good head she gave. I'm sorry, TMI. I'm sorry. Yo, the stuff that you put in this book opened up the door in my heart for me to go here. Okay? I'm sorry, you did this. So I was thinking, no matter how good head she gave, and it was freaking great. Eventually, that weed smell will bother me.
Right. Yeah. That might be a little too strong. It was a little too loud. Too loud.
Yes. Eventually, her mean mugging all the time will bother me. I'm like, yo, you just kissed me. You just went down on me. Why you frowning, yo? That's a little too gangster. Chill.
She
You're
just
a
needed a,
girl.
she just needed a hug, maybe,
I
perhaps.
gave her a hug and more. No.
I don't know. I'm not really a hugger, but
You're not a hugger? Why not?
I I'm I am getting, well, I wouldn't say I'm not a hugger. I'm just not really PDA, like public display type. Uh yeah.
I
And
am.
my significant other is very much, and it's kind of like, wait, there's people around. Let's just wait. I don't know. But but that you probably wouldn't get that impression by some of the points in the book. But yeah. I'm not.
Yeah, I am. I don't care. I've kissed women in public and was like, oh, y'all like that, huh? Yeah. Men, take notes. This is how you make a woman feel good. Girls, take notes. This is how you fake feeling. This is how you're supposed to fake feeling good if you're faking it. Which, anywho, I digress.
I mean, I say I don't like PDA, but I think You have to learn how to finesse that PDA a little bit. Like it has to just be done just right, and then I'm like melting and blushing, and yeah, if it's done just right.
I
Finesse
remember
part.
I once was in a play. I act. I don't know if you call it that, but I'm an actor. I was once in a play, a musical, with with heck, I was the only black person in it. I saw this white couple, very nice, middle class white couple, right? They're in their 40s, right? I saw them grabbing on each other's behinds. I was like, did I just see this middle class? Did I just see this middle class, upper middle class 40s white couple grabbing on each other's butts?
It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. I was like, man, y'all better go ahead and grab on each other's
Okay.
butts.
Yes.
That's how you keep things spicy while you're in your 40s.
Exactly. that's like the inspiration to me. Like, okay, when I see like older couples and they still kind of little frisky and like that is so cute to me. It's adorbs.
Oh, I know I'm gonna be. I know I'm gonna be in my 90s saying, "Hey, boo thing, I don't want to go sleep, lie down, let's get it on, like we in our 30s." But yeah, lasting love is a very, very, very beautiful thing. Um, and in spite of all that you've been through, I'm very glad for that you have found that love, that happily ever after. Because there's so many people out there who haven't.
Yeah.
So I would say that you're. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying that's true. I think they and it's just a matter of I see this all the time on Instagram where they put hashtag the wait and just being patient and waiting for it and not trying to uh, be overzealous and moving too fast, but because love is not perfect and nobody, I mean, I know, with the exception of you, of course, nobody's perfect. And relationships are not going to be perfect. So you have to, uh, and I think once I started to learn that and not trying to change my spouse and not trying and realizing, listen, he's doing he's kind of weird and some moments. So I'm just gonna let you ride on that right now because you're acting weird. I'm gonna go over here and do my own thing. But sometimes you do have to take a little bit of space from each other and just. But once you realize that you're not gonna change that person, um, then you can start to appreciate each other a little bit more. So I think that that's kind of what helped me and then working on me myself, realizing that I'm not perfect. So how can I expect anybody else? I got to work on me first. So another thing.
I've always had the mindset that if you are going into a relationship and you look at the person that you're in a relationship with, and your mindset is, okay, I gotta change this about this person, I gotta change that about that person, then you're with the wrong person. You should not even bother getting with them, because I have the mindset, if you can't accept me when I'm at level if you can't accept me when I'm at level K, you don't accept me, you don't deserve me at level A.
That's true.
So, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
No, I said I like that. That's so true.
Yeah, you can use that. That's a quotable. If you can't accept me at level K, you don't accept me. You don't deserve me at level A.
Hmm.
Um, the key thing is you have to see the heart value of that person in comparison to other people that you've been with. Like whoever I would date, I would look at them in comparison to my last girlfriend, or in comparison to the hood. No, I can't compare it to the hood rat. The hood rat was more so of a fling, but other women who have encapsulated my heart in the past, and is she doing stuff that either reminds me of them, or be like, or let me know that I've grown.
Hmm.
That's how I determine in my mind.
Yeah.
So So another poem of yours that I would like to read. This is one that I can very much identify with. We got this Virgo synergy going on.
Of course. Virgo in the house.
I don't want to ask you what year you were born in. That's none of my business. But I'm just
We'll say I don't really. Okay, I'll say it like this. I don't
this.
identify with generation uh, with Generation X, and I don't identify with millennials. I'm somewhere wedged in between there. Let's just put it like that.
Man,
And
you
do
just
that.
sound a little. Heck, you just sound a little British just now.
Did I?
Just a little bit.
Maybe it's that linguistics. I've had to study all types of different languages, so I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I think I just sound real southern, but
I'm sorry, my southerners got your southerners a little beat, and this is way more southern than North Carolina is.
It is.
Okay, well, I will say I'm a millennial. I was born in 1985, the greatest year to ever spit out babies. So I'm just gonna leave it right there. Um, Abandoned State of Mind. Again, I relate to this very much so. Oh yeah, by the way, people, this is the book that I'm reading out of. Oh, it's on Amazon or go to www.amberbranch.com and order it. It's a dope book.
It's
Now,
amberartbranch.com.
no one I couldn't pull you up. Amber R Branch. The R stands for read. In other words, read this book. So,
There you go. There you go.
Abandoned State of Mind. Nobody understands me. I'm too inadequate to adapt to society. I drift through life like a zombie, holding all my anger and pain inside. The inner child within me has died. My life was once a drama series, tales of desperation, tales of desperation and sorrow, wondering if there was any hope for tomorrow. Every day I prayed, Lord, please let me be accepted. Every path I took led to the road being rejected. I kept searching for love and friends in all the wrong places, and all I got was fake smiles and from evil faces. It's kind of ironic. The people who loved me most caused me the most pain, severe and chronic. Felt like love was the precursor to going insane. Every day got harder to live as I thought. What more do I have to give? I give in my soul and my heart, but my spirit remains forever bruised from Cupid's dysfunctional dart. I was left in a state of confusion all alone, headed towards the island of destitution, shipwrecked in the state of abandonment. I can very much relate to all of that.
That was probably written in one of my lowest moments. Not too long after I was going through my whole being raped and molested and just kind of not and like really confused by it all. So I would say I was like really depressed and like why would somebody do that to me? And I think that and I remember I actually that was in high school when I wrote that. I think I went back and I revised it, but I wrote that my junior year in high school.
I remember from the time I was in middle school until my mid 20s feelings like that. But I just wanted to let you know that I can very much relate to all of that, not feeling loved, not feeling understood, not feeling accepted, and those who quote unquote did accept me were, just people with ulterior motives, like trying to win me to Christ. Um and all of that. So if you're out there and you have felt rejected, you're not alone. The first love and the most important love of your life is you.
Yes. Self
They,
love.
religious people say, "Oh, God is my first love. Jesus is my first love." Yeah, but yes, but that's a given. God
Yes,
loves you.
exactly. And
As sure as the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna. Oh no, I was just gonna piggyback on that. I always feel like if God lives and dwells inside you, if God lives in you, then you should. Like you said, that's a given. So the first person you should love is yourself because God already dwells in you. You know, once you've come to find Him and learn about Him. So that's like you said, that's a given. But go ahead and bash the
Well,
Cowboys. I know you're going that direction.
that's exactly where I'm going. I was about to say, just as sure as the Dallas Cowboys suck, is as sure as God loves you.
Yes,
So your first love needs to be the love for yourself.
I agree.
And I think that that's very important because because so many of us struggle to love ourselves. Especially us who have had story past, we had to come to the place where we do love ourselves, and it hasn't been a very easy journey. So I would like to share my journey, but first, ladies first, I want to know how did you share your journey from overcoming your traumatic circumstances into your self-love.
Um, so how did I? You're saying how did I journey through that, and how did I get through that?
How do you get through there and get to where you're at right now?
It honestly it took a lot. It took several years, but it took um, just realizing and just I would say I have always been a writer, and I think so. That's one of my therapies, just writing and putting it down. And I think that if more people did that, or just sharing their story in writing, that would also help to help out with some of the anxiety people go through, and just kind of getting through those moments. But I think just time. I feel like time heals all wounds, and just I think we try to race through life so much and trying to hurry up and get married and have kids and to do what? Just to grow old and then look around and you're with the person that you can't stand. So I think that it's all a matter of time. It's that hashtag the wait. So being realizing that life is not a sprint, it's more like a marathon, and you have to be patient and let the higher power work through you um, and just do his will. So that's kind of what helped me, is just finally realizing that all of this stuff that I've gone through and putting in perspective that there's a reason why I was going through it. And I think I heard somebody once say that instead of looking at it as a bad thing, maybe you should kind of look at it. What if we look at it as I'm kind of an honor a little bit? God chose me to go through all this to maybe use somebody else or help somebody. So if you think about it like that, instead of dwelling on it as a negative, then you can kind of push a little bit better toward your person, but toward your purpose. And then you can start to heal. And until you start to heal some of those wounds inside, nothing else is going to work out. Trust me, I've tried to. I've searched out, like I've talked about in some of my poems, I've searched out through, different relationships and a promiscuous past and trying to find love in different lovers. And it just didn't work out because that's not the direction God wanted me to go. So I had to just take a big piece of humble pie and listen to what God was trying to direct me to do and just do it, as Nike would say.
Just do it, as Nike would say. Um, Lecrae, who happens to be a North Texas
Yes,
alum like you.
I remember him. I actually, I was on campus when he was at UNT. Shout out to Lecrae.
Lecrae's my favorite rapper. What you know Lecrae? You know him? Know him?
I was on campus at the same. We weren't really that close, but I mean I remember seeing him on campus. I didn't know him that well, but we were going to the University of North Texas at the same time. So yeah, if Lecrae, if you're watching, I don't know if he is, but yeah.
I mean, I know people who have met Lecrae, so if I ever meet Lecrae, I want to stand on top of a stool and be like, "Hey, man, you're my favorite rapper."
He's really talented. But of
He is.
course, I mean, shout out to Mean Green. The University of North Texas is a internationally known music school of music. So, what can you expect? It is.
Well, shout out to the university. Well, shout out to North Carolina Agricultural and Technical University, who has their homecoming this week. G-Ho, greatest homecoming on earth. Since we're shouting out colleges.
I know, right? Just had to send that out. Mean Green.
Hey, get Roy. And I didn't even go to A&T. But what I was getting at is Lecrae says, if you live for people's acceptance, you die from their rejection. And that has been a story of my life up until my mid-20s. I would say up until I hit my 30s. Because once I hit my 30s, just a light came on saying, F what people think. Who cares? I remember growing up. I grew up in a single parent household where I had a loving mother who was dealing with her own stuff, and that stuff kind of like matriculated onto me. Um, I'm not going to give my entire story because it's your turn, not my time. Um, so the entire time I was like wondering, why am I not accepted? Why does society look at me and poo on me? Why does my mom love my cousins more than me? Why does my dad love me enough to be around? All of that until when I was 25, I was at this church encounter, and I found myself screaming out to Jesus like, Lord, just take it away, take all this hurt and pain and need for acceptance away. And it started the process to me getting to the point where I'm at right now, where I'm like, yo, if you love me, welcome. Rocking with me is a pretty dope ride to be on. If you don't, hey, I don't love you either. Bye.
Yeah. It's kind of.
And I tell you, the key thing that like really helped me find value out of life. You know the scripture where it says, "Out of the mouth of babes."
Mm-hmm. Yes.
God saw fit to put my crazy behind in the child care education field. And kids are smarter than you are smarter than we think they are.
They are.
They will rock with you if they feel like if you come with genuine intentions, right?
Mm-hmm.
I started really finding value out of life whenever I would come to work and find myself ambushed with so many hugs. I'm like, you're hugging me too much. Get off me.
That's good.
And now to this very day, I just found out the other day that there is a young lady who's 5 years old in my class. She started out before the semester started, from what her mom said, before the semester started, she was afraid of men. Like afraid of men, right? I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? Um, but and she was like seriously, crazily, cripplingly shy, right? And as time went on, as I just started being myself and everything. Oh yeah, she started out the semester crying all the time. But as time went on and I started being myself, she really started opening up to me and started talking to me a lot, telling me things that are going on in her life,
Mm-hmm.
hugging me every day. Even got to the point where she looked at me, this little 5-year-old Asian girl looked at me and said, "Boy, bye." And that's what happens when you find comfort in God and shun any negativity from people who are not feeling you. You really start to learn just who you are.
That's true.
And I'm like, yo, I'm an actor and writer who happens to be great with kids.
Mm-hmm. And then just being proud of that. So that's a beautiful thing too. Just a beautiful story. Just finally become. And then that's my other book, Becoming, getting to that point. So through all this Sapphire rhymes, teardrop stain confessions, and being going through all this pain, but my other book is Becoming a Beautiful Articulate Person. So just the story that you just kind of told, and just that shows how you get to that point where, you know what, forget all, like you said, forget the naysayers, forget the negativity, forget all the past mistakes, all the heartaches, all the tears you cried. It's about becoming who you're meant to be. I was kind of inspired more recently by Michelle Obama's book, Becoming, um, as well, just because that's a major thing, learning who you are, and yeah. So I agree with you. Kids are like little sponges, and they're very discerning. I think my youngest daughter, she kind of, people used to say she didn't smile, but it was just because I feel like she was sizing people up from the very beginning. This is when she was like little, before she could probably even put a sentence together. But she would literally just look at you like, and like, you would smile at her, try to talk to her, like, hey, and she would go. And I feel like, and like she was like literally just sizing people up. Now, eventually, she would kind of warm up to you, but at first she was like, no, let me fill you out first. Let me figure out what's going on. So and kids have a way of doing that. And if they don't want to be, if they don't feel something, or like you said, out of the mouths of babes, or if they get the wrong vibe from you, they're kind of quick to tell you a little bit.
Yeah, they will tell you up front. They'll tell you up front. They'll say, I don't like you.
Yes.
I'll say back, I don't like you. I don't like you stinking behind either. Real quick, explain a little bit more about about your other book, How to Articulate. That's the name. Is that the title of it?
It's Becoming a Beautiful Articulate Person.
Right.
The Genesis of Transformation. So that book is kind of, like I said, it came after. So this more recent book, and I'm actually about to redevelop the one that you were reading from. I'm doing a relaunch, so I changed the cover a little bit. So it's actually going to be a lot more, so it doesn't look so gloom and kind of.
I like this cover.
I like it too, and I think a lot of people like it, but I got some feedback to make it more brand cohesive with the other book. So we're gonna see about changing it. The cover, we can always put it. I mean, of course, I do like this. I have it too. I do like this cover, but I'm gonna I got some literary advice about maybe making it more cohesive with the Becoming a Beautiful Articulate Person, so that they look more like they came from the same author. They kind of look very different. So that's what we're going to do next. But to answer your question, the Becoming a Beautiful Articulate Person book is about getting to that point that we were talking about earlier, about self-love and about all the things that I've gone through. And I literally have been sick, and I had struggled with type 1 diabetes. So that's another one of I have some poems in the Becoming Articulate Person that are about my hospital stays and about that struggle. And then I found out my oldest daughter, she has type 1. So dealing with that, being caretaker of her, those were a lot of struggles that I went through in my adult motherhood. And just like, again, it took me back to, God, why? I mean, did I not go through enough? What? So now you're going to add this to me. Now you're going to give it to my child too. So I went through a whole lot of things, a lot of issues with that. And so that Becoming a Beautiful Articulate Person, the genesis of transformation, that right there is about not believing what people sometimes, I hate to say it, but sometimes the older generation will kind of put things on you and tell you what you're not going to be. Or sometimes, and maybe they don't mean to do it negatively, but they're not as uplifting as they should. So it's about not listening to what people are telling you should be, but just being who you were born to become. And for me, it's becoming the genesis of transformation. For one reason, I came up with that title because my family has always struggled with diabetes. It's been in my family for generations. I got to the point where I'm not going to let that hinder me or my family anymore. And so even though I have it, even though my oldest daughter has it, we are living healthy. We are aging well. We are living well. We eat. We don't have to just. It's not like we have to not have sugar. That's kind of a myth. But we have to just do it in moderation and get exercise and have that just total health. And that's where the transformation comes from, because a lot of my biological father, he passed away last year, complications from diabetes, but he was so hard-headed. He would not do right. He would not eat right. Despite all the issues he was going through, he had just made up in his mind that I like it, so I'm going to eat it. I'm going to drink a whole Coke, even though I'm not supposed to. So the things that's really what that title came from, because I want to do better. I want to be better. I want to show my kids that the strength that you see in me, it's also in you. And we're gonna fight this thing. We're gonna beat this thing, and yeah. So and we're gonna change. We're gonna change the family trajectory. Is that the word? Come on, wordsmith. Yeah, change the whole family scope and just I think I butchered that word. But
Break a generational curse.
yes, there you go. I don't know why I couldn't come up with that word. The the linguistics major failed. Okay, but yeah, it's just
Good.
yeah, it's just about changing. And it's really a mental thing. It's changing your. In the becoming book, I have a lot of. I have a few poems in there about anxiety and about. I kind of go into some suicidal thoughts that I had at one point, and kind of talking a little bit, doing some poetry about that because I was at the point where I was like, you know what? I'm just done. Like, I just don't even want to go on with this. This doesn't even seem fun anymore. So, but again, it goes back to just the self love and getting past it and realizing that God put you here for a purpose. So, become what He wants you to be. So, that's what that book is about. Trying to see if I have it over here. I think I have it.
So a couple of things to that while you're getting that book. Okay. Becoming a beautiful, articulate person. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
What if BAPS stood for that? Beautiful, articulate person.
It does. Well, that's see, you're right on target. That's what now BAPS normally stood for what? Black American Princess. And my mom used to actually always call me that. She said, "Oh, you're such a BAP. You're a Black American." Now sometimes it can be a little derogatory, like, "Oh, we're just a bunch of princesses," but I wanted to kind of turn that around and say it's not just about being a Black American princess. Let's just put it out there for everybody. Let's just become a beautiful, articulate person. And that's a BAP. That's the new BAP. I have transformed the word BAP, if you will.
There you go, Transformer. I said, there you go, Transformer.
Yeah, the
now,
transformation.
Now I gotta ask you this. I'm sorry that you had diabetes in your family, but I gotta ask you. Sort of stepping away from our topic at the moment. What type of water are y'all drinking? Are y'all drinking Texas water, Fiji water? What type of water y'all digesting at the moment?
Oh, here?
Yeah, in the house, if you don't mind me asking.
You know what? I have become I like lemon water. I like sparkling water. So I don't know if I'm kind of being a little bougie, but I like Perrier, and I do like the smart water. I like to do lemon water, like just take the filtered water and just put natural lemon juice in it. So that's kind of, and then I really like Ozarka. I don't know if that's
so for you and for everybody, I gotta make a quick plug here. Okay. For all of you who are drinking those demonic waters from your local stores here in North Carolina, there in Texas, there is a group called the Soul Society who sells this Who sells this water right here? I call it Jesus water because it has me feeling holy every time I drink it. This live earth alkaline water. Let's see. Bottled at the source by Vision Bottling Company in Winston, North Carolina. If you happen to want some, if any of you in Texas happen to want some, www.heavyenergyuniversity.com. Next time they come to Texas, they'll send one your way. Do it. I highly recommend it. It's a healing mechanism in it. Every time I drink it, I feel like Black Panther.
You feel like what's his name right now? Just let me. Chad.
You're not going. No, don't do it. Don't do it. You are not going to disrespect the late great Chadwick Boseman like that.
I know I wasn't gonna. That's why I was like, let me stop because I'm about to butcher his name. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, you know
My
where I was.
fellow Carolinian. But anyway, I recommend that water for everybody. Great water. Um, one theme here, one reoccurring theme here is generational curses, not only in the way we eat, but also how we visualize our mental health. Having suicidal thoughts, from my experience, from anyone's experience, that's kind of like that's your mental health. That I heard before when someone has suicidal thoughts, that's not them really actually wanting to die per se, but it's like they've lost control of their life or they want to change their environment and can't and have run out of options of a way out. Would you? I know for me, that was my revelation of it. What would you say was your revelation of it?
Um, I think that not when you put it like that, that totally makes sense, and I think that that is true because when you are going through that and you feel like you don't have, and even us, even it doesn't matter what your faith is, we all go. You're bound to go through it. I mean, you can sometimes I can pray to God and I'm like I just don't want to be here. Like God, I mean, why don't you just bring me up to heaven? Like, and so I literally would have those battles and like prayer conversations where I'm like, I don't, why am I still here? So I think it is when you kind of run out of options and you feel like, what am I doing here? Like I said earlier, it feels like this is not fun to me anymore. I don't, I don't want to be here. And so you can't think of anything else to do, and you kind of you run into that wall. So you have to redirect yourself and refocus and just find that strength, and it's and like it goes back to becoming and find that strength. I had to kind of channel back to what I like to call is my what they say in Back to the Future, my former self, or I had to kind of channel back to my younger years before all the trauma, before all the drama, before all the heartache. You know, just being that carefree, light-hearted, and trying to put myself back there so that I could become better. And when I did that, that also helped in my journey. Just going back to who I was before, you know.
Yeah, that's what helps because you go back to what you once were, you channel that youthful energy, and it allows you to just look at life with a whole what's going to happen, I can't wait mindset. Um, I will tell you, at my job, people think that I'm crazy because I'm always saying that Monday is the greatest day of the week. People think I'm crazy, but there's a reason for that because number one, no other day of the week brings out more negativity than Monday. People hate Monday. Oh, it's Monday. Oh, it's Monday. It's been a constant since I was. It's been a constant since I was a child. But I'm like, yo, any day that I get to rise and live life and go after my dreams and be some type of influence in the lives of young people as they are the future.
Mhm.
I'm like, heck yeah, I love Mondays. I love Mondays. I love Tuesdays. I love every day.
Yeah.
Especially Friday. I love Friday because I get to say, all right, y'all, it's Friday. Y'all ain't got no job. Let me tell you about my friends Smokey and Big Worm. But and so that's another way that working with kids has saved my life is in order to connect with them, I had to channel my youthful self. I think that's probably why people tell me all the time that I don't look my age. I'm 36. And people tell me
Yeah,
all the time I don't look it.
that's true. I mean, I guess, yeah, because you have to be lighthearted. I mean, just carefree a little bit and take some of the worries out. Get in touch with your child, your inner child.
Yeah, and that's one generational curse that we could break. That we as a people definitely need to break. Um, I would like to before I let you go, I would like to touch on mental health really quick and read your poem about being woke. Um, would you agree that we as a people have um greatly ignored would you say that we as a people have not showed mental health the proper respect and acknowledgement that it really deserves?
I think so because, and I think it kind of goes. I hate to say it, but it kind of goes back to the the church a little bit and the stigma that sometimes churchy people put on it because it's like, oh well, you don't have enough faith. You need to just pray. Well, but sometimes, I mean, you do need to pray, but but mental anxiety, mental health is real, and depression it's a disease, if you will. So um, no, I mean, it's not like you can just ignore it. It's just that would be like ignoring diabetes. You can't ignore it, otherwise it's going to lead to other things. So I think that we tend to take the holier than thou road to it, like, oh well, that's your like it has something to do with our faith, or we're not strong in our walk with God or whatever. So I think that that's, to me, that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's kind of how I feel like it came about in our culture.
No, you're right because okay, so I'm going to jump on a little bit of a tangent here, okay? So just ride with me.
That's good.
Okay, so while Christianity was started in Africa, we came into this country. Those of us who came from Africa, we were here prior to child slavery, but prior to the colonial version, the colonized version of Christianity, our version of Christianity, our version of faith and whatnot, started with being spiritual, a spiritual communing with God, our higher creator, and channeling the God that is in us. Psalm 82:6. I say you are gods, you are children of the Most High, and being that child of the Most High. But we come to, but one, but I can't talk. But once we came here to what is called America now, and was beaten and stripped of our beliefs and everything, and had this colonized Western version of Christianity, which is not even Christianity in my view. But anyway, forced upon us. Well, we're already confused because we're taking upon this, and this pretty much says open the book, read it, and believe every single thing that's in that book. Pray, but make sure to believe everything that's in the book. Now, I rock with the Bible, but I have my questions about it, right?
Mhm.
Um, nothing, and that has been for the most part the religious makeup of us ever since then. To want to talk to someone about your problems, that look like your faith in God has digressed or declined.
Mhm.
But then again, God has gifted therapists to do therapy.
Right. Exactly.
Am I making sense, or am I rambling?
No, no, that's a good point that you said, and I actually was thinking that. I don't think I said that, but it was in my head. Like when you said God has gifted um, therapists for therapy. So I mean, He gave them the intellectual capacity to help others. that are going through that. And I mean, because we have disorders and diseases, it's nothing different than going to the doctor and getting help for any other illness. Depression, like I said, is an illness, it's a disease. So, I mean, you wouldn't neglect, if you had cancer, you wouldn't say, oh no, I'm not going to go get that treated because I have I mean, you still have your faith and nobody's taking that away, but you still need to go and get it treated and get it diagnosed and see somebody about it. So it's the same situation, but that's where I think, and it did, and it goes back to, like you said, it goes all the way back to Africa. I feel like with just the way that we started with our organized religion. So, and I'm like you too. I have questions. I have to pray about it. I really have to have. I think just over the whole pandemic and just the last few years, my faith and my walk with Christ and just praying, my prayer life has become very strong, and it had to, because this pandemic really tested my mental capacity. I think I'm just like, my social anxiety was through the roof, and like I'm now just like crazy afraid to be around people. I'm like, no. I think I saw a meme. It was like, how many people are going to be there? I have to ask that question before I even go out. Just like the whole mental thing. Like, yeah, but I agree with you. I think I might be rambling at this point. Sorry.
You're not rambling. You're not rambling. So as we start to wrap this, you wrote a poem in this book with this beautiful cover, Staying Woke. Now, I just want you all to know, this is not Black Lives Matter, defund the police, that woke. This is different woke. Check this out. Staying woke. I'm woke now. I'm wise. Made some changes. I can see clearly through the lies. Excited for what God has in store. Can't wait for the great things behind the next door. Another chapter of my life. I'm ready to explore, praying this time to get it right. Serve the Lord, care for my girls. No more living life like a whore. That's real for me. I've had my whole moments too. I think that is a beautiful poem to have towards the end of the book. That is like that awaiting, youthful, can't wait to just take life by the horns and make some moves energy that you was talking about, right?
Yeah. And I mean, it's short and sweet and to the point. I mean, that was not one of my long, lengthy poems, but it just something kind of to remind myself, you know what, we're at a different point. It's kind of toward the end of the book. So as you can see throughout the book, I've kind of evolved, and it's like, okay, enough is enough. We've cried our tears. We've gone through some things. We lived a certain type of way. But now, you know what, we've got responsibilities here. I have two very intelligent, independent, beautiful young ladies that I am raising and teaching them to become. So, you know, I just had to get to a point where I'm just, yeah, putting behind the foolishness and just and living life and not getting caught up in my feelings, if you will. You know, not saying that I don't have any feelings, although I do like to sometimes tell people I have one feeling, but in actuality, I have a little bit more. So I just hide them very well. But yeah, so that's kind of, that to me is staying woke. That's my version of staying woke. I had to wake up, step out of it.
I love the way that you worded it. And I love the way that you kind of like reuse the meaning of the term woke. I hear woke all the time. It's like, oh, we protest against police. We woke. Oh, shut up. You ain't woke. You just emotional.
It has
So,
it has different meanings though. I mean, it means the same thing, but you can put that stay woke in any context. Just as long as um, you're just being enlightened and growing up. Some people call it adulting. if you will, or it's basically like saying grow up, kind of thing, right?
Right. And when you grow up, you have to leave the past behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Learn from the past, but don't let it affect your future. Much like Dallas Cowboy fans, how they refuse to let go of the past glory and not accept the fact that it's not going to be their future. It just Amber, if somebody wanted to take advantage of your linguistical services, or I don't know, get some writing tips for you, or wanted to, I don't know, book you for a poetry event, or contact you in any way, shape, or form, how could they get in touch with you?
Okay, so you can contact me. Well, you can go to my website, which is www.amberrbranch.com, and that's probably the easiest way because when you go to contact on the contact tab, it'll put you directly in touch with my email, um, or I think there's a way you can WhatsApp me on the website, or you can just follow me on Instagram at Articulate Beauty One, on TikTok at Articulate Beauty One. Those are all the ways that you can follow me or get in touch with me. So yeah, I would be more than happy to help somebody with editing, whether it's editing or just linguistics training, speech, anything like that, or even helping to write their book, because I believe that we all have a story to tell. So, you know.
So I'll tell you this: when I received your book, thank you by the way. When I received your book and read it, I decided, you know what? I'm writing a poetry book. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
For it. I
I'm doing
definitely
it.
go for it. I will support you. I will be the first person to leave a review on it. So
Thank you. Like, I have other projects going on right now,
mhm.
and here's what they are. Ha! Not telling, not sharing until I'm ready to let people know. But yeah, I got other projects going on right now. I will say among them is I'm acting in this film called Street Logic.
Oh,
That's
cool.
the only one I'll mention. But yeah, I'm definitely going to write a poetry book. And for those of you who are in Texas, um, tapping in with Amber, if you want to hit me up for whatever reason, share your artistry with me, cast me in a film, or play, whatever. My email is adq4christ@gmail.com. On social media, I am Dion Chocolate Guy 85 on Instagram, Avenue ADQ underscore 85 on Twitter, and on Facebook, I am Adrian Dion Quarles, ADRIAN DION QUARLES. Please do not call CIA on me. Amber,
Yeah.
yo, it has been incredible communicating with you. I hope that your book hits the New York Times bestsellers list. It is an incredible book. It is an incredible piece of literature. Thank you for coming on my podcast, for all you do, for all the writing that you do. Let me get rid of this. For all the writing that you do, for all the stories that you tell. You, ma'am, are a valued, loved, needed, necessary member of the Renaissance. Our people are better because of you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure meeting with you and speaking with you. And just buy it. Yeah, go to Amazon, check the book out, leave a review. That will definitely help it to get to that bestseller rank. But above all, I just hope that I'm inspiring somebody. And that's kind of the main goal for me is just to use my hurt to heal and to help heal other people. So
I tell you what, next time I am about to engage in relations, I'm definitely reading a couple of these books. I
oh
mean, a
yeah.
couple of these poems.
Oh, you're talking about the more risque ones, okay?
But hold on, I got to read one for the road because I just saw this one. Let's see, the
Uh-oh.
ultimate actors. I am an actor. I indulge in the theater.
It's not that.
Let's see. The ultimate actors. You are real good at pretending to care. What? And acting like you'll always be there. In reality, you are the biggest loser. You push the limits and gone too far. It's not about the theater.
No.
You can never be trusted, and your love is corroded, worn out, and rusted. Sheesh. This is a breakup poem.
Yes, it is. You thought
Miss, because I'm not gay, Miss, best performer, you come at the end of your time. You will not advance to the next round. Your performance so far has not been sublime. Don't worry about your complimentary prize. Just pack your things and say your goodbyes. There's no more love for you here. No applause and no tears. Just hit the road, Jack, Lynn, and don't come back.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was a little misleading. You got a little excited. You thought it was about.
I thought it was about the theater.
Well, I mean, it is about those clowns that think that sometimes you have to deal with some clowns and yeah, and some actors that like to portray a certain image and they're not really who they claim to be. So that was just a little shout out to those.
Hey, I'm shaking my head. Those who like to lie and can't tell the truth. But anyway, this has been an episode of ADQ's Renaissance. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I am ADQ. That is Amber Branch. And thank you again for tuning in. I am in North Carolina, Aggie Pride. Shout out to North Carolina A&T. And shout out to the University of North Texas.
Yes.
And she is in Texas right now. And Cowboys, you suck forever. Peace.
Bye.
And I'm going to end the broadcast like this.